Yes, yes, guys. Nuclear Reaction Faction, we're back. I'm reacting to the Casey Anthony case. I'm not an expert, but I do know quite a bit about body language analysis and speech analysis. Let's get
Most of
it.
you will already be aware of who 2-year-old Kaylee Anthony was. The majority will know that she sadly passed away at some point between 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. on June 16, 2008. Her death is undoubtedly the most heartbreaking part of this story, and we only need a single word to epitomize her short life: tragic. But the primary subject of this video is not about the life nor the death of Kaylee Marie Anthony. It is in fact about the psychological constitution of her mother, 22-year-old Casey Marie Anthony. So rather than tragic, you'll find the words disturbing and perplexing to be far better suited to the theme of this video.
Can you see how hyper-vigilant she is? She's probably in court anyway. That's probably why. But you can see, there's a lot of cunning behind those eyes. You can tell she's manipulative, already.
One of the many reasons this case is exceptional is how the present day's topic of discussion has little to do with the actual occurrences of the crime, but in fact the subsequent developments that followed. People are no longer talking about how or even why Kaylee Anthony passed away. They are instead talking about the manner in which a mother responded to her daughter's death.
That's not being funny, yeah, but that's her dolled up on a night out. She looks better when she doesn't do anything. She's made herself look like her own mum or something like that.
Given all the acquired information we
see what
have,
I mean? She looks much. I know this is really shallow. It's just an observation, about her, how self-conscious she is. She completely makes herself up to look like a completely different woman. But she looks better like that.
Even if we afford this person the most morally acceptable possibility of what occurred, her manner of conduct was still unimaginably cold-blooded. This is driven home by the fact she was evaluated by 2 clinical psychologists during her time in custody, and not a single abnormality was discovered with relation to her psychological state. In other words,
that's because she's at least a sociopath, if not a psychopath. And psychopaths are really good at fooling psychiatrists into thinking that they're sane. It's like a common thing.
Cold-blooded. This is driven home by the fact she was evaluated by 2 clinical psychologists during her time in custody, and not a single abnormality was discovered with relation to her psychological state. In other words, there were no signs of mental illness whatsoever. And this makes the character study of Casey Anthony just as fascinating as it is terrifying.
That is a terrifying picture right there. And if she's in court smiling like that, I don't know if that is in court, but that is terrifying. There's something devious behind those eyes.
A human being's state of mind is
flipping hell. Every picture, it's whoa.
Something most accurately assessed with the full capacity of hindsight. So before we evaluate our first segment of raw footage, here's a quick rundown of each of the essential moments that will give you a broader understanding of what we're actually dealing with. On the 15th of July, 2008, Orlando police received a call from Cindy Anthony, the grandmother of the victim.
911, what's your emergency? I called a little bit ago, the deputy sheriff. I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. My daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where?
But the babysitter took her a month ago. My daughter's been looking for her. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. And she just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name?
Kaylee, Caylee, Anthony.
Kaylee Anthony?
Yes.
How long has she been missing for?
I have not seen her since the 7th of June.
Is your daughter there?
Yes.
Can I speak with her?
They want to talk to you.
Listen to this, yeah? Listen to how uninfused and this she's got no passion whatsoever. She's doesn't sound urgent. She doesn't sound like she's worried about her kid. She just sounds like the call is like an inconvenience. Listen out for it.
I have not seen her since the 7th of June.
Is your daughter there?
Yes.
Can I speak with her?
They want to talk to you.
And then you can tell her mum already knew it was going to be an issue getting her to talk to the police.
And answer the question. Hello?
Hello?
Oh my word.
Can you tell me what's going on a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell me a little bit what's going on?
My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days.
And you know who has her?
I know who has her. I've tried to contact her. I actually received a phone call today, now from a number that is no longer in service. I did get to speak to my daughter for about a minute.
Who has her? Do you have a name?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
To give some context to this bizarre phone call, Casey Anthony had left the family home with her daughter a month earlier, stating that she had a work assignment in Tampa and would be traveling the entire time. Kaylee's grandparents would ask repeatedly over the following month to see, or at least speak to their granddaughter, but Casey claimed each and every time that she was too busy with work and that Kaylee was with a nanny who went by the name Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, or Zanny for short. On July 15th, exactly 6 weeks after Kaylee was last seen by her grandparents, George Anthony received a phone call that the family car was at the impound lot. This immediately alerted suspicion, as it was the same car Casey had supposedly been traveling with for work. Suspicion turned into panic once they picked up the vehicle, and George discovered a strong odor emanating from the trunk, one that he recognized from his years as a police officer, and found comparable to that of human decomposition. Through contacting one of Casey's friends, her parents managed to track her down at her boyfriend's house in Orlando, where they were found smoking marijuana and watching TV. When inquired over the whereabouts of her daughter, Casey stated that she had been kidnapped 31 days before by the supposed babysitter.
So you can tell that, like, because they're her parents, they don't want to believe what's right in front of their face. The fact that she's so uninfused about her supposed missing daughter, there's huge red flags, like the decomposition smell, like there's huge red flags, and also, like, they know her daughter has been a liar her whole life. You'll go and see through the video, like, she's just a compulsive liar. So they just obviously don't want to believe the worst, and I don't blame them, because you wouldn't want to believe the worst about your kids.
At that moment, Cindy Anthony called 911.
911, what's your emergency? Who has her? Do you have a name?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
Who is that? Babysitter?
She's been my nanny for about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Why are you calling now? Why didn't you call 31 days ago?
Exactly.
I've been looking for her and have gone through other resources to try to find her, which was stupid.
Yeah.
I think the officers are here.
Stupid's a word.
Yes.
Now let's indulge in the world of fantasy for just a moment and pretend all of what Casey had just stated was true. She had indeed been working, and her daughter was in fact kidnapped by the babysitter a month earlier. The immediate premise most would gather would be that Casey had no regard for her daughter whatsoever. In the 911 call, there was no urgency nor concern in her voice, and rather than her volunteering information, which most parents would do in a frantic manner, it had to be acquired by the dispatcher through repeated inquisition. All you have to do is compare Casey's dialogue to that of her mother's in the same phone call. One was indifferent, while the other was distraught. Police would have picked up on this immediately. Even with
she's smiling there as well. Like, it's so weird. Like, it's almost like a duping smile, like where you don't realize you're smiling, but it's because you're hiding back a secret and you think you're fooling everyone. So like you unconsciously smile. Like she's smiling in the most inappropriate of situations. She's got a police officer right behind her there, and I'm guessing that's in court.
Without the bizarre phone call, the circumstances alone would make Casey the prime suspect in her daughter's disappearance. She was immediately interviewed as a witness, which, unbeknownst to her, was the detective's first step in locking her into as many lies as possible.
The date right now is July 16, 2008. The time right now is 04:11 hours. I'm Detective Mellish with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I am with Casey Anthony, is that correct?
Yes.
Casey, you understand this is being recorded?
Yes.
You have any objection to that?
No.
All right. Casey, I got called here in reference to a missing child. You took Casey to a babysitter's house?
Yes.
And who was this babysitter?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
Okay. How long had you known Zenaida?
Almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years Christmas this year.
And where did you meet her? Who did you meet her through?
A mutual friend. His name is Jeffrey Michael Hopkins. I met him at Nickelodeon at Universal, and I met her through him.
She's really good at lying on the spot, and I think she thinks that's going to be enough to get her out of it. Like she thinks they're not stupidly. She thinks they're not going to check up on her details, which shows how arrogant she is. That she think she's used to manipulating everyone in her life. But so she thinks she can do it with the police, but she's taking them stupid, man. Like she thinks like police are stupid, and they're really, really not.
She was his son's nanny at the time.
Does Jeffrey still work at Universal?
No, he does not.
How long has it been since he left?
About 9-10 months, give or take. He moved up to North Carolina for a short time and moved down to Jacksonville within the last 3 months.
How would you characterize your relationship with Miss Anthony?
More or less acquaintances,
Weren't very good friends?
not very good friends.
Did you ever work at Universal Studios?
I did.
When did you work at Universal Studios?
Approximately 2002.
How long did you work there for?
1 year.
Did you ever work there at the same time that Casey Anthony worked there?
I don't think so.
You don't recall ever seeing her there?
Never.
Did you ever introduce Casey Anthony to a woman by the name of Zenaida Gonzalez?
I did not.
Did you ever use Zenaida Gonzalez as a nanny?
No, sir.
Do you have any children?
No, sir.
Wow.
Have you lived in the Orlando area consistently since 2002?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever lived in Jacksonville?
No, sir.
Have you ever lived in North Carolina?
No, sir.
Like see like how easily she lies. They just roll off her tongue, but then it's all BS. Like everything she says is BS,
Did
man.
you see Casey Anthony in the month of June of 2008?
No, sir.
And to add insult to injury, she walked free and then tried to do a heartfelt documentary on her story. Like you can't make this up, man. Only in America, man, I'm telling you.
When was the last time you spoke with him?
About a week and a half ago.
Do you know a telephone number for him?
I can find a number for him. I don't know a number offhand. No, I do not.
I'll tell you what it is. The reason she got off, yeah, is she had, quote unquote, like both the best and the worst attorney in the world, yeah. She had an attorney that was so good at like narration and storytelling and like setting the theme and like emotionally manipulating the jury. So he was like excellent. If you were just rating him on a clinical basis, yeah, not a moral one, he's an amazing attorney, like the best. But if you're gonna rate his morality, man, like I'm not even gonna go there.
So you met Zenaida through Jeffrey Hopkins
I did.
and his son Zach Hopkins, I guess. Zenaida used to watch over Zach.
Yes.
And when did she start watching over your child?
It's been within the last year and a half, 2 years that she started watching Kaylee.
How would you normally drop off, or how would you normally do the exchange with your child and Zenaida? Would you drop the child off? Would she meet you somewhere?
I would usually drop her off. For a few months, we would go over to Jeff's house. He lived over in Avalon Park.
No,
And
it
you would go
just
to Jeff's house, why?
To drop off Kaylee.
her lies
That's
just
where Zenaida would go
roll
to
off
watch
the
both of
tongue.
the kids.
Okay.
It was in a nice centralized area. He had a decent sized house. It was good room for the two of them.
Go back to your statement. You
See that is a bit of a tell there. It's hard. She hasn't got many tells, but like that's a bit of a tell. Add in so much detail, like unnecessary detail. That's what liars do. Like they think it makes them sound more convincing, but really it doesn't. Because she should just be saying like relevant stuff, but she's going on about like the size of his house and etc. etc. It's just like it's not relevant. That shouldn't be what's on her mind right now.
would go to Jeff's house, why?
To drop off Kaylee. That's where Zenaida would go to watch both of the kids.
Okay.
It was in a nice centralized area. He had a decent sized house.
No
It
one
was good
cares.
room for the two of them.
Literally, no
Go
one
back to your
cares.
statement. You dropped off Kaylee June 9th, and walk me through. You dropped her off to go to work?
Mhm.
Okay. Get off of work and go from there.
I got off of work, left Universal, driving back to pick up Kaylee like a normal day. And I show up to the apartment, knock on the door, nobody answers. So I call Zenaida's cell phone and it's out of service.
Did she not realise that? Does she not realise that the police can like can track all of this and verify what she's saying. Like, for instance, about the initial time, like on the phone when she was with the dispatchers, and she was like, "Oh, I actually got a call today, and now the number's withheld," and all this, and as if like the police can't just check up all this stuff. She really thinks she's some Machiavellian genius, you
I
know.
really want to come home. I wasn't sure what I'd say about not knowing where Kaylee was. Still hoping that I would get a call or, find out that Kaylee was coming back so that I could go get her. And I ended up going to my boyfriend Anthony's house, who lives in Sutton Place.
I think after 31 days, like, it's pretty safe to say that you're not getting your kid back, mate. No mum in the world is gonna not call 911 the instant their kid is missing. Any mum who loves their child is gonna instantly call the police, instantly, and they're gonna be frantic on the phone, and it's just so obvious, like, really it is.
Did you talk to Anthony about what happened with Kaylee?
No.
By the way, I'm not saying anyone's guilty in this video, because it's not my place to say. But I do think there was some failings in the legal system. I'll just put it that way.
Have you talked to anyone about Kaylee, about your incident with Kaylee, or the fact
Outside
that
of
she's missing?
A couple people, a couple mutual friends.
Who did you talk to about it?
I talked to Jeffrey Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to Juliette Lewis. She's one of my coworkers at Universal.
She works. You still work at Universal?
Yes.
What do you do at Universal?
I'm an event coordinator.
Okay. What is Juliet?
Oh yeah, I think Kazumi goes on to say, but yeah, no, she's just making all of this up.
What position is she? Where she works?
She's also an event coordinator. We work in the same department.
Bollocks.
Juliette Lewis doesn't exist. Casey had briefly worked at Universal, but hadn't been employed there for over 2 years prior to this interview. And she wasn't an event coordinator. She stood behind a kiosk and sold photos of people after they had been on the Incredible Hulk ride.
Can you see how she's got self-conscious issues? Like she couldn't just say honestly. There's nothing wrong with that as a job. Like what she was actually doing, selling. In fact, that doesn't sound like too bad a job, really. But she had to try and level it up to event coordinator to like make herself sound better. Like she's got identity issues. Like she doesn't even know who she is. Like she doesn't know who she is. Like she's just lies built upon lies. Her whole life is lies built upon lies. Like it's like her friends, if she's got them, like, will be talking to thin air, like something that doesn't exist, like a phantom.
You have a number for Juliet?
Ooh, offhand, I can't think of one.
Is she in your SIM card?
No, she's not. Some of the more recent numbers, her number just changed because she just moved back up north. She, within the last 2 months, has finished moving up to New York. She's subleasing her apartment.
So Juliet doesn't work at Universal anymore?
No, she does not.
What's the reason, I asked you this before and I'll ask you just for the record, what's the reason you didn't call the police before?
I think part of me was naive enough to think that I could handle this myself, which obviously I couldn't. And I was scared that something would happen to her if I did notify the authorities or got the media involved. Just the fear of the unknown, fear of the potential of Kaylee getting hurt, of not seeing my daughter again.
I asked you this at the onset and asked you before we went on tape, and I'll ask you again just to make sure we're clear. Is there anything about this story that you're telling me that is untrue, or is there anything that you want to change or divert from what you've already told me?
No, sir.
Did you cause any injury to your child, Kaylee?
No, sir.
Did you hurt Kaylee or leave her somewhere and you're worried that if we find that out that people are going to look at you the wrong way?
No, sir.
And you're telling me that Zenaida took your child without your permission and hasn't returned her?
The last person that I've seen with my daughter, yes.
Is she Puerto Rican? Is she Dominican? Is she white?
She's mixed. She's black and Puerto Rican.
Is there any underlying cause to why Zenaida would have taken your child?
Nothing that...
Did she ever make any statements to you about...
Only how much she loves Kaylee and how great of a kid she is.
And when you talked to Jeffrey afterwards, I'm assuming that Jeffrey's child is still with him?
His child is still with him.
You said Zenaida had family up in New England, up in New York or
yes,
something?
Yes, she has family down south. Her mother and her sister. Her brother's in New York. She's originally from New York. Pretty much grew up there, moved down here, went to the University of Florida.
Look how fast the lies are just rolling off her tongue, as if it's nothing. Like, she is a skilled manipulator and liar, but the police are trained to deal with people like this. Like, she doesn't. She's met her final boss, like, and unfortunately, she won.
Zenaida, the nanny, doesn't exist. Casey never had a babysitter. Being the retrospective viewer, we have the benefit of knowing these are outright fabrications, and these meticulous details are a textbook sign of a pathological liar. She speaks eloquently and naturally, as if her dialogue is a reflex response to the questions she's being asked, when in reality, each of these minor details are calculated and deliberately placed for the purpose of deception, and the nonchalant, easygoing tone she employs is used to camouflage anxiety. Casey has not only become accustomed to manipulation, she has become extremely skilled in how to use it effectively. It takes us to the concept of nurture and how it most likely had a significant impact on her current circumstances. If we go through what we know about Casey's domestic history, there are numerous occasions where she had gotten away with things that most would not, simply due to the fact that she was able to continuously lie without conscience. A prime example could be when she was 18 years old and stopped attending class midway through her senior year. She literally skipped the entire second half of her final year to go hang out with her older boyfriend. Her parents became suspicious on several occasions, yet each and every time, Casey had some whimsical excuse to which she was given the benefit of the doubt. Then just days before graduation, her parents were informed by the school of her truancy, and that she would not be graduating. When confronted, Casey's excuse was that her timetable was mixed up by the school, causing her to miss classes through no fault of her own. This is
Can you tell, like, she's got identity issues, because she every picture she looks drastically different. She's like, I know, like, women change their hair and their makeup all the time and everything, yeah, but she looks like a different person in each photo, even down to her facial, like her whole affect, like that. From what you can tell from her picture, it's as if, like, she's like a chameleon, like a social chameleon, and like, yeah, no, she's something not right about her, man. She's not wired right.
And that she would not be graduating. When confronted, Casey's excuse was that her timetable was mixed up by the school, causing her to miss classes through no fault of her own. This is obviously a completely baffling excuse that no sane person would ever believe. Yet whether it be through denial or an overprotective nature, Casey's parents not only took her at her word, but even shielded her from the consequences of her actions. They lied to all their family friends that she graduated with honors, and even threw her an extravagant graduation party the day after. This is just one of the many occurrences where Casey faced no ramifications for misconduct. It seemed to give her the belief that no matter what she did, as long as she could spin one lie after another, or at least drag a lie out for as long as possible, everything would work itself out. The truth is that everything did work itself out when she was dealing with her parents, and she evidently thought the same rules applied with regard to national law and a missing child's investigation. After the initial statement you just heard, Casey was asked if she could take police to all places of interest. She happily obliged, and then proceeded to lead them to a multitude of fake addresses which she had nothing to do with. She then took them to her supposed office at Universal Studios and literally led 3 senior investigators to the very end of the building, taking over 25 minutes to walk to, before she finally turned around, put her hands in her back pockets, laughed, and admitted that she didn't work there. Completely dumbfounded, the detectives placed her under arrest and took her to a conference room in the building for what was essentially an interrogation.
Can you imagine, yeah? Look at those guys. They're serious, yeah? You can tell, and you can tell they're seasoned as well. Veterans, yeah? And, like, they look serious enough as it is, like, in a picture like that. Can you imagine their expressions and their faces when she told them, wasted their time and told them that, when there's a missing kid involved? Oh, I bet. Oh, yeah, you hear it. You hear him. They conduct another. If I don't know if you call it an informal interview, basically just an interview, not in a police station. They conduct another one, and they are pissed, mate. I'm telling you, like.
Since I left you this morning, I've gone to every address that you've told me. I came over here. I've already talked to all the employees. I found out all these names that you're giving me are people that either never worked here or have been fired here for a long time ago. Okay, so where we are right now is in a position that doesn't look very good for you. Because obviously, I know, and you know, that everything you've told me is a lie, correct?
Not everything that I told you.
Pretty much everything that you've told me.
Everything except her name, probably.
Including where Kaylee is right now.
That I don't know where she is.
Sure you do. And here's
absolutely
listen,
do not know where she
let me explain something. Looking at you, I know that everything that you've told me is a lie. I am very confident, just by having talked to you the short period of time, that you know where she is.
I legitimately have not seen my daughter in 5 weeks. I didn't let anything happen to her, except I trusted her with somebody that had been taking care of her, that had been taking good care of her. Someone that she was comfortable with, that I was comfortable with.
What about Jeff? You said Jeff worked here until about 2 months ago?
No, he hasn't worked here for quite a while.
10 months? How long?
It's been at least 10 months.
Okay. He got fired in 2002. He hasn't been an employee here since 2002.
We put a lot more together than I think you realize we put together. My question to you is, we're in this office because our purpose in coming here was to do what?
I'm trying to think of places where I know she's been.
You're not answering my question. Do you want us to help?
Yes,
you want to help us find your daughter?
I do want you to
Well,
help.
a good starting point would be to answer the questions, okay? If I say to you, we're here because, and then you just ignore that like I never asked it and go off in some other direction, is that answering the question?
No.
Okay. Well, let's go through this again. We're here because.
Because I lied, because I brought you up here, and honestly I was reaching for...
Oh, stop.
I want you to tell me how lying to us is going to help us find your daughter.
It's not going to.
Well, then if the main thing you want to do is find your daughter, and you don't think lying to us is going to help us find her, why would you do that?
Like, that should just be boom, done, over. That's it. It's clear. Like, but like it goes on and on and on. Like, she just, and it's disgusting. Yeah, what she the levels she sinks to try and get out of this. You'll see as it goes on. Yeah, she accuses her dad of some horrible stuff. Yeah, and I'm not here to. I wasn't there, so I don't know whether it happened or not. Yeah, but with how much she lies, you've got to like wonder, haven't you? Like whether she's telling the truth. If she's, I don't know, man. It's just really, really infuriating. I'm a dad, and like he, from what I can tell, he really, really cares about her, like a lot, like really cares about her, and then she just does him dirty like that. It's unreal.
Because I'm scared, and I know I'm running out of options. It's been a month.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared of not seeing my daughter ever again.
I'm a parent too. I would have been beside myself.
I have been.
I would have called the police immediately, and that's the part that I just don't understand. Well, we've got so many resources out there that we could help on day one.
You didn't know what to do.
I didn't know what to do. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, they haven't been gone that long. Maybe I can find them. Maybe I can track them down.
We're not stupid, okay? And what you're doing right now is you're treating us like we're stupid. Everything that's coming out of your mouth is a lie. Everything. Either you gave Kaylee to someone and you don't want anyone to find out because you think you're a bad mom, or something happened to Kaylee and Kaylee's buried somewhere or in a trash can somewhere, and you had something to do with it. Either way, right now, it's not a very pretty picture to be painting. You're painting yourself as a very bad person. It needs to end.
The truthful thing is that I have not seen my daughter. The last time that I saw her was on the 9th of June.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true. But like, what's not true is what happened to her.
People that we were talking about, the person who had an accident, and a person who's just a cold-blooded, callous monster, that's telling me that you are the second person, this cold-blooded, callous monster who doesn't care and doesn't want to help because she's afraid that something so heinous happened that everyone's going to look at her and say, she's a monster, she deserves to go away, she deserves to never see the light of day, this bad thing should happen to her. I don't want to believe that right now, but you're giving me no choice. Tell us what happened to Kaylee. Tell us what happened to Kaylee.
I dropped off Kaylee. And that's the last time that I've seen her. I dropped her off.
Where did you drop her off?
I dropped her off at that apartment.
No, you didn't.
That's exactly where I dropped her off.
Did you just think that one day she's just going to show up at your house?
No, I sat around yesterday trying to figure out what to do. I'm glad that I ended up seeing my mom, that all of that stuff happened. It happened for a reason because
you're glad you saw your mom. You could have saw your mom 5 weeks ago and said, Mom, I don't know what.
I saw my mom's reaction right off the bat, and it would have been the same from the get-go.
What?
So wait a minute. You're more afraid of your mom's reaction than you are if you ever see your daughter again?
No, I'm absolutely petrified. Absolutely petrified. I know my mom will never forgive me. I'm never going to forgive myself.
Is it that there's some other thing more important in your life right now that you just weren't really focused on what you were saying when you told us? So you kind of just accidentally told us you had an office here and we needed to be here? Or did you purposely mislead us? Which of those two is it?
I purposely misled.
Okay, so you purposely misled us This was all an attempt to help find your daughter, right? That makes sense to you, correct?
In a backwards sort of way, yes.
What?
In a backwards sort
I'm
of way.
coming back to places that are familiar to me.
Oh
that I
my
know
word!
familiar to
Shut
her.
up!
Familiar situations.
Just
that
shut up!
What did you think?
Just maybe
How old is she?
would help. She's almost 3.
She's almost 3. What do you think, she's going to take a cab here? I mean,
I know
how did
she's
you think
not.
she's going to get here?
Because she's with someone else.
What are you
She's
going
with someone
on
else
about?
who's hid her from you for 5 weeks.
Yes.
She has never ever been in this situation before where she's dealing with someone who actually knows how to like spot manipulation and stop it in its tracks. She's getting really, really anxious and panicky. You can hear it in her voice. Like her responses are taking longer to formulate, and she's not as confident in what she's saying. And yeah, the detectives. Usually, it's the detectives trying to be manipulative. I'm not slating them. They do a good job, like, and they catch a lot of people that way. But usually, it's the detectives being manipulative in an interview. This one, it's her. They haven't even got a chance to be manipulative, really. Like all they're doing is pointing out like the logical flaws and like fallacies in what she's saying, and that's good enough. That speaks clear as day because she's incriminating herself by all this lying. They don't even really need to manipulate her. They just need to point out how stupid her lies are, and that's enough. Well, it should be enough. Apparently, it wasn't. Like, and it's a really good attorney just flipping undid all this obvious work and evidence. I have no idea how he got her out of this. I have no idea, but flipping hell, if you put morality and ethics aside, hats off to him. If you do keep morality and ethics on the table, then it's a very bitter pill to swallow.
Why would a person who has hid your daughter from you for 5 weeks, okay, bring her to the building that you used to work at?
I don't know what else to do.
I love how they're completely picking apart her lies, like one by one, methodically.
Who has hid your daughter from you for 5 weeks, okay, bring her to the building that you used to work at.
I don't know what else to do anymore. If I knew where she was, if something would have happened, I would have admitted that a long time ago.
Do you believe thinking up more lies to tell us will help us?
No. She's with someone that I absolutely do not trust, and that I'm absolutely scared that
you don't trust yet was babysitting your daughter for you.
I don't trust her now because of what happened.
Who did you call first? Who did you go to for help first to help try to find her?
A weed dealer?
No one.
Oh, no, okay, all right. Okay. Well, I'm glad we got that straightened out.
Casey was then taken to the county jail, where she in the evening hours was able to make a phone call, and just happened to see her mother on the local news moments before speaking to her.
Casey? Mom.
Hey, sweetie.
Oh, I just saw your nice little cameo on TV.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Which one? I did 4 different ones, and I don't know. I haven't seen them all. I've only seen 1 or 2 so far.
You don't know what my involvement is and stuff?
Casey.
Mom.
What?
No.
I don't know what your involvement is, sweetheart. You're not telling me where she's at.
Because I don't f***ing know where she's at. Are you kidding me?
Casey, don't waste your call to scream and holler at me.
Waste my call sitting in the jail?
Whose fault is you sitting in the jail? You're blaming me that you're sitting in the jail?
Not
Blame
my
yourself
fault.
for telling lies. You mean it's not your fault? What do you mean it's not your fault, sweetheart? If you'd have told them the truth and not lied about everything, they wouldn't...
Do me a favor, just tell me what Tony's number is. I don't want to talk to you right now.
Wow.
I don't have his number.
We'll get it from Lee because I know Lee's at the house. Get Tony's number for me.
Can you hear how she's ordering around her mum? Like, she's like bossing her around, like, oh my gosh.
Hey, can you give me Tony's number?
I can do that. I don't know what real good it's going to do you at this point.
Well, I'd like to talk to him anyway.
Okay.
Because I called to talk to my mother, and it's f***ing waste. Oh, by the way, I don't want any of you coming up here when I have my first hearing for bond and everything else. Like, don't even waste your time coming up here.
You're making it real tough for anybody to want to try to... I'm not going around and around with you. That's pretty pointless.
You can tell that he doesn't fall for her crap as much as her parents do. Like, I think he sees right through her because he grew up with her, and she's probably manipulated him like their entire childhood. and yeah, he's not nowhere near as like forgiving or understanding, which is a good thing, I suppose.
Tina would love to talk to you because she thinks that you will tell her what's going on. Frankly, we're going to find out. Everything
I have
she's
no
telling
clue
them
where
is
Kaylee
lie.
is. If I knew where Kaylee was, do you think any of this would be happening? No.
Anyway, you only got a couple minutes for this, so I'm not going to let you completely waste it. Here's Christina. She thinks she can get through.
No, I want Tony's number. I'm not talking to anybody else.
Hello?
I think she wants to talk to her boyfriend because her boyfriend's probably wrapped around her little finger, and she can use him as her minion on the outside to do whatever and be her her PR firm, basically.
Hi, I'm glad everybody's at my house. Do me a favor, get my brother back because I need Tony's number.
Does Tony have anything to do with Kaylee?
No, nothing.
Okay, so why do you want to talk to Tony?
He's my boyfriend, and I want to actually try to sit and talk to him because I didn't get a chance to talk to him earlier because I got arrested on whim today.
A whim. A whim.
I want to talk to Tony and get a little bit of...
Casey, you have to tell me if you know anything about Kaylee.
Sweetheart,
if anything happens with Kaylee, Casey, I'll die. You understand? I'll die.
See, that should have been like how Casey was talking, and that should be still how Casey's talking. Like, and look, her friend cares more about her than her own mum does.
If anything happens to that baby.
Oh my God, calling you guys, a waste. Huge waste.
Wow.
Casey appeared in the court the next morning and was initially denied bail by the judge. He cited his reason as her undeniable disregard for the welfare of her own child. She was kept in protective custody, and it would be 9 days until she received her first visit from her parents.
Hi. Hi, sweetie. We've been watching you for so long. You haven't? I love you. I love you too. Hi. We've been seeing you sitting down. We forgive anything that you've said. Oh, or done.
Hold on. Can we turn the volume down? Yeah.
I think like she has to turn the volume down. I think she knows they're not going to and they can't. And that was a deflection from listen to what her mum says. Yeah, we forgive anything you said to us instantly, like that. Even though she's had like about 10 seconds on the call to say, "Oh, that's too loud," instantly she's like that, like because she doesn't want to face the fact that she doesn't want to face her actions or her responsibilities ever.
We've been seeing you sitting down. We forgive anything that you've said. Oh, or done.
Hold on. Can we turn the volume down? Yeah, you can probably hear it. My head's gonna explode.
What's that T-shirt? I didn't get a chance to ask him. Other things.
Kaylee's picture's on the back.
Is it? Can Dad show me the shirt? Yeah, turn around so she can see. It's the Never Lose Hope Foundation. Do you see it? I can see part of it, yeah. Have you seen me? And then it has the information on how to contact. Okay.
If she has, yeah, because she's got acquitted, I can't say that she's guilty, yeah. So everything I say in this video is allegedly, yeah. Let me just, I should have prefaced the video with that. But, everything in this video that I say is allegedly, and I'm just postulating, yeah, and hypothesizing, yeah. But say she has done that to her daughter, yeah, and then she's faced suddenly with a picture of her daughter and has almost no reaction, just shows the level of callousness.
It's the Never Lose Hope Foundation. Do you see it? I can see part of it, yeah. Have you seen me? And then it has the information on how to contact. Okay. Casey, you don't realize that the whole United States is looking for our Kaylee. I know that, Mom. Her cover's going to be on People magazine in a few days. Okay.
With a readership of over 46 million adults in America, having your missing child on the front cover of People magazine would seem as a godsend to most. Yet Casey's response is almost as if it's a lost cause.
Everybody is looking for her. Good. Everybody is looking for her. Are we going to be able to find her, do you think? I hope we can, Mom.
That sounds so fake.
Ask Lee. Can you look up a little bit more? Raise your eyes up a little bit. There you go. So now, look straight up so I can look into your eyes, darling. Thank you. I need to do that.
Yeah, she needs to do that so she can see whether she's lying or not. Oh, she starts crying instantly. I forgot about that.
It's okay to cry, Casey. It's all right, love. We've all been crying.
Setting aside morality and ethics for just a moment, Casey at this point would be emotionally exhausted. She had been sitting in an isolated jail cell for almost 2 weeks as the entire world was turning against her. Anyone in her position, guilty or otherwise, would be at near breaking point, and her composed exterior now finally slips. She, for a brief moment, allows herself to be vulnerable, and for perhaps the first time, expresses the pain of her situation. This is one of the few moments where Casey's true self is on display. Of itself, it's a touching moment between a mother and daughter, yet if we add in the context of the surrounding elements, she is only expressing this pain for herself. Just a moment ago, when she saw her deceased daughter's face on her father's shirt, none of this emotion came out.
Exactly.
Casey, I want to ask you just a couple questions. Good.
The rest of the visit is extremely bizarre. Casey's parents try to extract any information they can about Kaylee's possible whereabouts, and each time are essentially dismissed by Casey as if they're asking pointless and irritating questions.
Do we have any pictures of Sandy's apartment?
Lee and I already talked about this. I don't know. It could be on the desk at home. I don't know.
What is your... I can't get into your...
I gave Lee everything already. I gave Lee all of the passwords, everything we could possibly think of all over again.
I want to get some video clips off Kaylee because the video clip with Grandpa is really helping people. Still pictures don't show.
No, they don't show her personality.
Right, and we need to show her personality, so I need to make sure we get that password.
Yeah, I gave Lee the password.
So so she's making her parents go in a roundabout way to get the password, yeah? Like, I think Lee doesn't even have the password. Yeah, she's just trying to stall and like buy time, but like it's just why, like, she spent more time saying no, Lee has the password. Oh, he already has the password. He has the password instead of just giving him it in 2 seconds. Do you know what I mean?
See your eyes.
I want to be able to look at you guys too. I can't look at you and look at the camera.
Well, you don't have to look at the camera. Look at me.
I'm looking at you.
Okay.
You're sitting very low.
I know.
The exchange switches back and forth from inquisitive and challenging to sympathetic and loving. And every time her parents stop inquiring over the case and show that they still care about Casey herself is when the tears come out.
Do you want to speak to your father now?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, gorgeous, how you doing?
I look like hell.
Well, you know something? You really need to keep your spirit high for all this.
I haven't been crying while I've been in here.
Well, you know
trying
something?
to read books and do other things to keep my mind off of stuff.
Well, you know, I want to be able to reach out and hug you and give you the big Papa Joe hug. But you know, we got to get that little girl back any way we can, and we're
Dad,
doing everything we can.
My only concern. I gave Lee a statement. I want him to speak to whoever in the media, give them a statement specifically from me.
See what I mean? Like how she's only really interested in properly engaging with Lee because Lee probably fully hook, line and sinker believes everything because she's got like a spell over him, like, and doesn't until like he doesn't know her history and how much she's lied, and he's met her probably recently-ish, and yeah, like she wants him to be in control of all this stuff because she is in control of him. That's my opinion.
I'm gonna give them an exact quote.
Every time Casey's parents mention that people are willing to help with a search, Casey dismisses their credibility and even attacks some of their characters while she's at it.
Tara?
Tara from Michigan.
You mean Mark's psycho ex-wife, Tara?
Yes.
Listen. People like Tara, people like Jesse who are maybe trying to help, even Christina, God bless her, don't know what the hell they're talking about.
So you can tell, like, that's because they've pulled her up on lies and they've seen her true character. So she doesn't want them anywhere near this because, like, she's trying to control the situation. Like, I really do think those people that she's slating who are trying to help, which is ridiculous, like just on the face of it, those people know her true character and she doesn't want them anywhere near this. Anywhere near.
I want you to know, I want to take your pain away from you. So, you can tell me anything.
I know that, Dad.
I miss you, sweetie.
I know that. I miss you too.
I wish I could have been a better dad and better grandpa,
You've been a great dad and you've been the best grandfather. Don't for a second think otherwise.
Instead of saying you are the best dad and you are the best grandpa, she's speaking in the past tense. Sort of. Like, I suppose it's sort of like the present tense as well. Like, maybe I'm looking too deep into it.
Well,
you and Mom have been the best grandparents. Kaylee's been so lucky.
She's talking as if like her daughter's already gone. Well, she obviously is. Like, that's been proven. She's gone. She's been gone at this point. But she's talking as if she's already gone.
Kaylee is so lucky to have both of you. I can't even put into words how glad I am that she's had both of you. And that she still has both of you.
See how she had to reiterate, or like iterate that, like she still has, like she actually caught herself. Then she realised what she was saying. Her emotions are like hindering her ability to lie properly and manipulate as she usually does. So she's slipping up, and she caught herself there. Look, watch. She caught herself in it.
I can't even put into words how glad I am that she's had both of you. And that she still has both of you.
It goes without saying, that our house is empty without both of you there. It's empty. All the little things we took for granted, we miss them so much.
That's exactly how I feel.
All your little things and all her little things, it hurts. We're not there. Mom and I are just going through the motions,
I ate coleslaw today. Tell them I ate coleslaw.
Well, you're probably eating a lot of things you never used to eat before, because when you're hungry, you'll eat.
I hated bologna. I've been eating bologna and cheese on occasion. Grits. I don't do grits at all. It's terrible.
Well, you know what? You're going to eat what's in front of you.
We get another glimpse at Casey's skill in fabricating information and her ability to intertwine specific details to afford her lies some credibility. These minor intricacies are what would make her extremely convincing if we didn't happen to know otherwise.
They never searched by her full name. They searched by Zenaida Fernandez, whereas Zenaida Gonzalez never by her full name.
Shut up.
And it's Z-E-N.
Z-E-N-A-I-D-A. I don't think she has a middle name. There was never a middle name on
As if the police aren't going to search the full fake name she gave him. Come on. Like, how can you keep lying so brazenly, like, in the face of, like, such obvious deception?
And it's Z-E-N.
Z-E-N-A-I-D-A. I don't think she has a middle name. There was never a middle name on anything that I remember seeing. And I know she went by both last names. She always has. Since she was younger, since her mom remarried.
Oh my gosh.
And you don't know what her stepdad.
Fernandez Gonzalez.
How can she make up all these details?
Fernandez Gonzalez.
I think her dad's first name is Victor. Her stepdad. Or that could be her real dad. But I remember her saying Victor. Victor and Gloria were her parents.
Victor and Gloria are her parents. But they're separated. Or divorced.
They are as of now, yeah. That was her stepdad.
Divorced.
But I know she has a lot of money. That's where she got the car from.
I only get one or two
Wow.
phone calls a day that, that are not nice phone calls.
Why did she say they've got a lot of money? Is that sort of to imply that she could have fled the country and started afresh somewhere? Why is that relevant that she's got a lot of money? She added everything she adds is just for a strategic purpose. So you've got to break down and analyze every single little thing she says because it's all lies. It's all BS. So why is she putting that BS in there?
Money, that's where she got the car from.
So
Victor, her parents.
Victor and Gloria are her parents, but they're separated or divorced.
They are as of now, yeah. That was her stepdad.
Divorced.
But I know she has a lot of money. That's where she got the car from.
I only get 1 or 2 phone calls a day that, that are not nice phone calls, but I get many, many, many phone calls and many people reaching out that just believe in you. They believe in us finding Kaylee. Okay? So keep your head up high. But if you think of anything that could help, don't be afraid.
Oh, I won't hesitate to let you guys know.
You have to keep thinking positive feelings, Casey.
Oh, I know, I have been. I've been staying as positive as I can.
But do you think after this long she'd still be local?
There's a possibility.
What's your gut telling you right now?
My
You have
gut's
the
telling
same.
me that she's okay.
Okay, and your gut tells you that she's close, or she's hiding.
She's not far. I know in my heart she's not far. I can feel it.
Yeah, that's true.
This was perhaps the first time Casey told the truth when speaking of her daughter's whereabouts, as she indeed wasn't that far away. Her attorney, Jose Baez, eventually managed to get her bail, and Casey was fitted with an electronic monitoring device and released on August 21st. She had spent just over 1 month in custody. 2 months later, police were granted permission to arrest Casey on the charge of first-degree murder. She was taken in for interrogation, but immediately requested her right to counsel. She was kept in the interview room while awaiting her attorney, and the released footage of that period is so bizarre to the point where it's almost comical. The detectives give off a passive yet glaringly obvious vibe that lets Casey know exactly what they think, being that she is guilty of her daughter's probable death and a fundamentally terrible human being on every imaginable level.
I think that's a good place to end it for part 1. Bit of a cliffhanger. Sorry for that. But yeah, I want to keep these videos about an hour long because it's hard for people to sit through videos longer than that. But yeah, if you're still really curious and you can't wait, you can go and check out the full documentary on JCS Criminal Psychology channel. I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, you've been locked into Nuclear Reaction Faction. Subscribe for more. Check out my other content. Rest in peace, Kaylee Anthony, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.